So I respect and love my wife for all that she does. Not only that, for a woman to push out another human being in birth, any man who experiences that, you gotta respect women, hands down.
Luckily for you and I, we don't have to experience that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can just imagine when your wife is away and you're watching the kids, it just turns into Lord of the Flies.
Yeah,
The Whitehorn household. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about your kids? How old are they? What ages are they?
So my oldest is Derek the second. He'll be 9 July 19th of this year, 2021. My second, her name is Serenity. I only have one daughter and 4 boys. My second is my daughter. Her name is Serenity. My third is Zephaniah. He's 4. My fourth is Zachariah. He's 2. And then our newborn, my 5th is Nehemiah, and he's 2 months. Derek, he's very observant. He pays attention to everything. He's very structured in the sense that if we say we're doing this at such and such time, he's there, Johnny on the spot. He's ready, and if we don't, it throws him off. He's very order oriented, so I love that about him. At the same time, he's strong willed, so he's the one that my wife has had the challenge with. He's a great child, but in times that he has to be disciplined, my wife is like, you better come get this boy because it's about to be a problem. So that's him. Serenity, my daughter, she's like the second mom of the home. She's the little mom. She's always checking on everybody, making sure everybody's okay and they have what they need. And she's very, very loving and giving. And she takes care of us. She takes care of me. She's the initiator of the daily massage I get. She'll have all the other children come on, it's time to give dad a massage. So I really enjoy that. My wife, she's kind of jealous because she doesn't get a massage as often as I do. Zephaniah, he's the cool kid, the 4-year-old. He's the one that's hip and, he's got the style and he's also funny. He's got a great sense of humor. And then Zachariah, he's the boss, the 2-year-old. As in most homes, he's the loudest. Everything belongs to him. He argues with the soon-to-be 9-year-old, the 7-year-old, and the 4-year-old. But he's another great one. You know what I mean? He loves to snuggle my wife and myself. He always wants us because he's he was the baby before the baby. But with him, he knows the answer to everything, and if it's not what he thought to do at the time, then it can't be right. Nehemiah, 2-month-old. I will say this about Nehemiah. He nurses more than any other baby we've had. He's the biggest. He was 9 pounds, 15 ounces. Our third, Zephaniah, he's the second biggest. He was 9 pounds, 6 ounces. So Nehemiah, of course, at this age, he just wants to eat all day. And if my wife gets more than like 2 feet away from him, no matter whether he's awake or asleep, it's like he automatically pops up like, wait a minute, where's mommy and where's my food?
Did you always want to have a big family? Was that in the plan, or did this just kind of slowly materialize until you look back and you're like, wait, we have 5 children?
Yeah. So before being born again, I didn't think about it much, but when I was in the world, I pretty much figured I'd probably have about 3 children. But after really surrendering to the Lord and then getting married, I thought that for a while too. I was like, we'll probably have 3 children. But once we got to baby number 3, my wife and I both were like, I don't think I'm ready to quit. So we said that, but then later on, while we still had 3, was like, okay, we'll at least take a break for now. So my wife, she got on, she had got an IUD, which is a type of birth control. And she still ended up getting pregnant with number 4. So with that, she was volunteering for a place that was like a Hope Pregnancy Center, which is You know, they have young women come in who may have ended up pregnant out of wedlock and stuff like that, and they encourage them not to abort their babies and tell them, you know, there's different options. She was volunteering for a place like that, and she was going in every day, and she was just feeling quite different. And they were like, hey, why don't you take a pregnancy test? She was like, nah. She's like, I'm not pregnant. She's like, I got an IUD. And, you know, you get that changed out like every 5 years, and there's like a 0.002% chance or something like that. So not even 1% chance, less than that you get pregnant with an IUD. And they were still telling like, take one anyway. So she took a pregnancy test and almost passed out. She was like, oh my goodness, I'm really pregnant again. So she got the birth control removed. And after having, that was baby number 4. After having baby number 4, we was just like, Lord, looks like you're not ready for us to stop. So we yield to that, and we celebrate the fact that there's another life you want to bring in. So that's how that happened.
We'll just make an actual literal handful, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fingers. That's what we'll do. So we're gonna have to saint your wife, by the way, right? Is she applied for sainthood yet?
Yeah, definitely.
When you were going through those, and I'm maybe being presumptive, but there were certainly some struggles when you were in the gang life, I would imagine. And there's some moments probably where, like, you even admitted, you know, you're 21, you're like, I may not see the next year, I may not see 30. As you look back, and you look back now, can you believe the place you're in right now?
Yeah, if it wasn't me knowing who's responsible, it would seem unbelievable, because when you get into gang life, you become somebody that you may not have necessarily been, you know, before getting into the gang life. And just looking back, you know what I mean, all the different stuff I went through, and some people that would have considered me their enemy, and to see that God preserved me and allowed me to make it out of that life, man, is very amazing. Because you really don't have a lot of people make it out of that life, in the sense that they either end up dead or in jail, either for life or a very long time. And I look back, man, I see many times where I could have died, you know, being at a lot of different parties, and me and my friends end up getting into fights with people, and, you know, guns get drawn, people start shooting at each other. And the fact that I ended up in that situation so many times, and not only did I not, end up murdered, but the fact I never ended up even getting shot is mind blowing to me. I remember one time, my friends, they went to a party, and my mom, for some reason this time, she was on me like, I'm not allowing you to go anywhere tonight, and you don't need to leave out of this house. And I was 17 at the time, and man, I remember hearing the next day about how the party was and how it got shot up, and the shooting happened inside of a building that was rented out. And they said it was like a lot of people were lined up against the wall. And they said as the guy began to start shooting, he ended up shooting. It was like one space that was blank, and it was probably about 2 feet wide where nobody was standing. And they said that area was shot up. And I just really felt like if I would have been there that night, that's probably where I would have been standing at, because it was odd the way everybody explained it. And it was just like, it was just one area, you know, in the dark, where there was a space enough to where that area got shot up. And, you know, when I got saved, I look back on that, and I could just see God saying, I preserved you. That's the spot where Satan wanted you to be standing that night. And, you know, me putting it on your mom's heart to really emphasize you not leaving the house that night is what preserves your life. And that's just many. I'll share one more briefly. I remember there was a guy that was from the gang I was from. He had been murdered. And this was like the same year in which I got initiated in the gang. I was 15. We was all standing outside of an after hours club the weekend after that. And it's guys out there from different gangs that didn't like the gang I was from. People started getting into fights, and it was pretty dark outside. But I remember looking behind me, and there was a rival gang member probably standing about 7 or 8 feet away from me. And when I turned around and looked at him, I'm sure he had a gun in his hand. It was pretty dark, so I couldn't see. But it was almost like something grabbed his body and made him do an about face turn and walk off. Years later, when I got saved, I was in a service, church service, and praise and worship. Not even thinking about that time, but God took my mind back to that time. And it was like I could hear the Holy Spirit saying, he was there to kill you, but I turned him around and made him walk off. And, man, I just broke down in the service like nobody else knew what was going on. But in my heart and in my mind, I could see God saying that to me, man, and it was amazing.
Wow, that's powerful stuff. I think it's probably a good place to end it. Do you wanna close this out with another rhyme?
Yeah, I can do that.
All right. Well, let me. I'll close this out, and you can do that. That's
okay.
Derek Whitehorn. Derek Whitehorn was our guest this week on Sunday Stories, presented by North Church Guthrie, and I'm your host, Corey White.
All right. So I'm not a better, but the God that I serve is the best. I am a debtor to the one who came down in the flesh. Check out my lecture. The texture of my words are pressed. Impressed on the harder to hear is you full of pride. It's harder to hear it. Harden your heart and your spirit. Pardon my when I'm spitting. Got to make it hard to forget it. Their attention spans are shorter than frigidity midgets. They hold the truth back like seatbelts. Click it a ticket. Animated like Jiminy Cricket, Animayan Ike, fight the conviction. David Banner type, strife with a Christian. They hate the candlelight and light in they living. We be fuller than MC Hammer's wife. I like how we living. God gave me my better half like a gift with a ribbon. Chickens was in my grill, but she was the rib I was missing. God gave me my better half like a gift with a ribbon. Chickens was in my grill, but she was the rib I was missing.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of Sunday Stories. We'd love you to follow us on Facebook or Instagram. North Church services are live streamed on Facebook or YouTube, or you can join us for a live physical service every Sunday morning at 9:30 and 11. North Church Guthrie services take place at 2219 Woodlawn Avenue, just off of I-35 and Highway 33. We'd love to see you there. And as always, love God, love people, and follow Jesus.